If you've ever priced out a legit apparel shoot, you already know the pain. By the time you pay for the photographer's studio, model, styling, makeup, props, retouching, and then to do it all over again for the next drop, you're staring at a bill that can feel like $5,000 before you even post the first photo. And here's a real kicker. Most clothing brands don't lose because their product is bad. They lose because their content looks, I would say, small or inconsistent or rushed, right? So point number one is this. In e-commerce, your photos aren't decoration. They are your sales team. If your imagery doesn't instantly communicate quality, fit, vibe, you're basically asking customers to buy with their eyes closed. And you got to understand that shoppers lean heavily on visuals when they're buying online. Hey, I'm Christian Pignon, one of the co-founders here at Bit Branding. We specialize in helping clothing brands scale online. I would appreciate if you like, subscribe, so you don't miss any of our latest content. Now let's talk about the AI tool that has been making smaller clothing brands look like they just leveled up the entire creative team, and that's called kive.ai. And the reason why I'm obsessed is very simple. Most AI tools can generate an image. So if you think about Nano Banana Pro, it's like cool. You can generate something and that's awesome. But clothing brands don't need just the images, like they need some like repeatable systems, right? Something that can create sort of like the same style of that same Nano Banana Pro image that you created over and over and over again, and potentially do it with a different twist to it, maybe a different scene, because you do need images for, ad creatives, for your website, for campaign assets. And this app, kive.ai, gets you to a place where you can do that without looking like you're shape-shifting or changing every single week. Kive is built like an all-in-one creative hub. You can generate images and videos, you can edit, you can keep things organized inside of a library. So I'm going to break down exactly how to use Kive to make your clothing brand look like a $5,000 photo shoot in a way that is actually going to help you sell more. So let's get into it. First, you need to understand the content bottleneck, right? Most brands think their bottleneck is ads or maybe email, or maybe their Shopify theme is not the right one. No, your bottleneck is fresh, high quality, consistent content. I'm talking about content, photos, videos, because content is the fuel for everything. If you think about it, the ads need it, email needs it, organic needs it, your product pages needs it, your homepage needs it, even SMS. If you're doing MMS, like you're going to need it. And when you don't have enough content, you start recycling some of the same 3, 4, 5 photos until your audience gets ad fatigued and your conversion rate quickly dies. So here's really where Kive can come into play. So step one, with Kive, you can build sort of like your brand look, and your AI can actually follow those instructions, which is absolutely amazing. And something I do want to talk about quickly here is Kive does have a free plan, but is very, very limiting. So I would definitely recommend jumping into the basic plan if you're trying to follow along with this video. There are even better features on the pro plan, which is $100 a month. But for now, let's explore this basic plan, which is just $20 a month, and see what all we can do with this, which gives you about 1,000 credits per month, and the ability to use all their tools, which is good, is what we want. So before we do anything else here, the first step that we're going to do is we're going to add a product. We're going to add one of our products into Kive so we can start being more consistent with this. So for example, if you think about Nano Banana Pro, a lot of times, or even with Chat or any other AI tools, you're constantly uploading your product photos every single time you want to generate something new. So what Kive does differently is if you go over here to the left-hand side and click on AI models, what you can do here differently is you can upload your product in here so that you'll have it as an object that you can kind of reference back every single time. So I have a couple in here, just I was kind of testing around and moving things. But let me show you. If we create a new AI model, in here it's going to give you 3 different options: product, a character, or a style. Just to let you know now, style is one of those where you have to be on the pro plan to generate. And character, obviously, if you want a very specific model, not AI model, but model person to be used consistently throughout your photos, then you want to create a character. But for now, all we're interested in, we've got to upload our product into here first. So we can click on product, and then we click continue. And then they give you 3 different options. You can upload images, you can add from library if you've already have them in the back end here, or you can import from URL, which is super duper handy. If you already have your photos on your website, maybe you have like front, back, side shots of your garment, you can definitely do import from URL, and it will get all that context of all the images within that particular product page. If not, then you can do upload images. And obviously what they recommend is making sure that you upload multiple angles of that same product and multiple photos of the same product as well, not just a singular photo. Multiple is going to give you a higher quality output. And obviously you also want to give it high quality photography. Really what they want is clean background, high quality pictures, avoid anything busy within the image. Single angle, it's going to be great. But obviously multiple angles is going to give you sort of like that 3D look in case you need to rotate the product for different prompts, which is going to be good. So what we're going to do here, because this is, I guess it's timely of the recording on this video, we're going to do some Bad Bunny merch. So he did a bunch of merch for the Super Bowl. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick one of these, and we're just going to import from URL. So we're just going to grab this URL just so you see how this works. So we're going to copy this, import from URL. We're just going to paste it in here, and it's going to fetch the images automatically, so we don't have to worry about it. And we can close this tab if we are done. But let me show you, I did another one for some other brands that I like. So we have here the More Love trucker hat and the Play Almo polo shirt in here. If we click edit, you'll see all the images that were kind of pulled in from URLs. Both of these were, basically pulled from the URL. So again, got front, back, a couple of lifestyle shots in here as well. Which so far, those lifestyle shots, they haven't, messed around with anything. But obviously what they recommend is just a simple front and back of the product. And this one, yeah, we have the 2 images right there. Perfect. Now, if we were to just use this right now, like we can technically click use model, and this will take you to the create tab. So we're now in the create tab, and then within here, you'll see that we have the at, and then we have the actual object. And then within that object, you'll see like we have multiple images. So the 2 images are already uploaded in here, and they could be used as part of this prompt, which is amazing. First step here, you want to create an image or a video. For this video that we're creating, we're just going to do images. And then the next thing is it will give you studio, but we're not going to touch the studios just yet. Let me just show you what just a single prompt could do with kive.ai. So let's just do man in his 30s. Looking straight to camera. And let's see, let's put him at the beach maybe. And then over here, you have the option to select the ratio. And again, this is one of those things where Nano by Nano Pro doesn't give you the option to do ratio. You can try to prompt it. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. But with Kive, you can actually select the actual ratio that you want to use. So if you're looking for hero banners on your website or collection pages, you can do that with this. Or if you're looking just for your typical, product photo, you can also do that, which is amazing. So we're just going to keep it with a 4:5 aspect ratio. And then in here, you can also select multiple versions of the exact same prompt, just to kind of give you a different flair, different variety of it. If you're unsure about the prompt and you want to see some variety, I would say, yeah, do the 2 images just so you can kind of see a different option. And then over here, you have the resolution. You can high or you can do max. I think to me, and the way that I would look at this is like high, it's good enough. Trust me, high is good enough. But if you're looking for something very specific for maybe an ad or an email, and you want just like the top quality, top notch stuff, then maybe go with the max. Just know that with the max, it's going to charge you more credits essentially. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to submit it. And also just a little caveat here, just so you know, this right here costs 20 credits to generate. And again, this can change in the future. So add the recording of this video. This is how much this charges us right now, 20 credits. And just so you know, if we do max, it's double that. So it's 40 credits right within here. And it's also, you got to consider we're doing 2 images. If we do 1 image, max is 20 credits. So if we do high, that would be 10 credits. So just so you know, so we're going to do 2 images on high, and then we're going to prompt that. As you can see, they start generating in here. They give you the percentage, but you can still keep working. You can still keep doing other things. You can add more products in the back end, and keep building on top of this. Now let's jump into step 2, or like the second biggest thing that Kive gives us, and it's Kive Studios. And Studios is one of those things where this is where it truly gives you that consistency. Because when you think about it, like one thing that I would say scares a lot of us brand owners is prompts, right? And the thought that you may need a part-time screenwriter to get anything decent in here. But Kive has something called Studios, which are basically pre-built environments that combine lighting, camera angles, props in the background, actual backgrounds, so you can get professional looking outputs without any complex prompts. So in this one, for example, we prompted the beach, right? And we just said the beach, but we didn't give it anything else. But with Studios, you can actually get that consistency. Instead of you can get that consistency because you pick a studio and it already bakes that in. So all you have to describe is really, what you want out of that scene, right? You already have the product, so you don't have to describe the product. You have the place and the location, so you already have that. So it's a very little prompting that you have to do in order to get this to work correctly. So let's see what it created. So interesting. So this one actually recreated one for one. Like that's the front of that t-shirt. It's a man looking at the camera. It looks very good. Very good, very real. This other version, for whatever reason, not the greatest. Not the greatest. It completely changed the design of the shirt, which is not what we want. So we're gonna ignore that. We're gonna pretend that never happened to Kive. Can we delete that? We can delete that. Yeah, remove. Gone. Cost me 20 credits. 10 credits. Yeah, 10 credits to do that. You see, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. So, anyways, there we have it. Now, within Kive, right? And what we did just here, like let's get rid of on this prompt, let's get rid of at the beach. So man in his third is looking straight into the camera. And instead of trying to describe the setting and the location, let's use studio. Let's go with step number 2, which is using the studio. If you click on studio in here, you'll see that there's a bunch of different recommendations and a bunch of different stuff in here that Kive has already created and generated. And it looks very high quality, very premium, very, I would say, even luxury. So I'm going to do one of these studio shots, and then let's jump into maybe creating our own studios, right? And something that it's actually it's a pretty cool feature, and I feel like it's kind of hidden within here. But let's go ahead and click on Blitz, and then let's actually not even give it a prompt. We had just have the product and we have Blitz as the studio, and then let's just do one image, high quality. Let's do that. Now, something else that you can do with this is you can actually create your own studios. As you can see, you have a different tab with My Studios. And if you click on the plus sign, here you can essentially grab a bunch of different, I would say, features or what they call blocks into the studio so you can kind of create your own thing. And I would recommend that you create your own thing. As you can see down here, we have sort of 3 elements that make up the studio. We have a graphite peak, which is a surface. We have indigo as the background and cold ambient as the lightning. But as you can see here on the left-hand side, we have so many things in here. We can do different props. We can do this flower thing, which that looks off, but let's get rid of the graphite peak with the flower. Actually, the flower looks kind of weird. So indigo, cold ambient lighting. What if we change? So if you click on it, then it gives you the option to then change that particular element instead of having to duplicate those elements. Although you could duplicate the elements, for example, if it's objects, you can definitely have multiple objects within the actual studio. So cold ambient, if we do moody studio light, there we go. All right. Overhead warm spot. So he is trying to combine both of them, but it's just not looking great. So I would say with things with lightning or backgrounds, try to stick with at least one of those. Things that, has to do with, props. I think your it's a little bit more free into some of the things that you can create here. So this is really what's going to give you what your brand is all about, and again, give you that consistency is creating these studios. So I could spend hours creating different studios and different things in here, but just know that it gives you all of the features, all of the blocks, all the elements that you can create. Now, if you're like, Christian, I don't know what exactly to make or to create, then don't fret, because one of the things that you can do in here, and it's one of those where it's a little bit hidden, I would say, in where it's at, and it took me a little bit to figure it out. But if you see, for example, if you're about to create something and you have the Studios tab here on the right-hand side, and for example, we use Blitz, but we want to maybe use Blitz, but maybe change it up a little bit. We're not crazy about the blue. Maybe we want to go a little bit more green, right? That's Bad Bunny's album has a lot of greenery in it. So I think that maybe makes sense. You can click on the three dots. You hover over it, you can click on the three dots and click on Remix the Studio. So let's see if we can do this. As you can see, this one has a lot of different elements. It has a person, it has a full figure, flash photography, it has a partial silhouette. Like there's a lot of different things in here. But what we want to change really is just the blue, from blue to green. So we find, yeah, the saturated blue right here. And let's see if we can do vegetation instead. That's looking a little bit better. So let's click done. And I think by default, it just calls it Blitz Remix. Correct? Yeah. And it's under now my studios. So let's go ahead and do the Blitz Remix, which is already enabled in here. And then instead of a man, let's do woman in her 20s. And let's go ahead and generate that. As you can see, it already finished generating the previous one. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, that looks nice. That looks real nice. Again, the details of the design is already in there. All the elements that we just saw within Blitz are accounted for in here. This has style, it has a little pizzazz, right? It's way better than if you were to blindly try to go to Nano Banana and try to prompt something and get this type of imagery out of that. It's going to take you a while. Now, something else, like once you're done with an image, you're not done. You can jump into chat mode. And I know I'm kind of jumping a little bit, but chat mode is also just absolutely insane and super cool. Because once you have something that you like and you're like, I wish I would have done something differently here. You can make those changes in here. So if you click on the image, now we have the option here to use this chat mode, which we can actually edit this a little bit more. And it gives you a few options, right? You can try another product. You can turn into a video, zoom out, you can upscale, and all the options. But you can also describe different things. So change to woman. And there we have it. We changed the model from the male, which looks like this, to female very, very quickly. Now, again, if you want to add different props to this, if we want to change the background, like you can do all those things just right here within this chat option, which is great. Now let's go back and see this one added an extra hand here. Maybe she's dancing, right? And someone's inviting her to dance to kind of take her away. Let's just pretend that's what's happening here. So this is, again, just to remind you, like, it's not perfect, but it's really, really, really close to being perfect. Now let's see if maybe we can prompt it into removing that extra hand. On the right side. Let's just see what it says. Let's see what it does. There we go. All right. So now we know if there are little errors or different things here that are not, where it's supposed to be, you can actually prompt it to remove those elements and keep everything else intact. I don't know how many times I've gone into Nano Banana Pro, I've gotten an image and then I try to reprompt it or like fix this issue, and it just completely changes everything on that the original image. So this actually did an excellent job of keeping literally everything else intact except for that one thing that I wanted to get rid of right within there. So no notes. This is absolutely mind-blowingly excellent. just to show you a couple of other examples from what I was doing earlier, you can do things like ghost mannequin photography. So if you have, again, high quality photos and you need a bunch of just ghost mannequin photos, just to upskill, right? Like if you think about this particular shirt in this example, it was a very simple like flat lay that they took with an iPhone and converting it into something of a ghost mannequin. Again, it just levels up the brand. And this other one, which again, it was just a straight up picture of the hat, and we just used some of the studio options. It's called Between Rocks, and it just kind of, you can put the hat in there with a just completely different background, something that actually looks visually interesting and rich, which is absolutely amazing. And also just like other types of backgrounds, right? This is like it's kind of like a Patagonia campsite in here with just the hat on the table. Just absolutely great angle, great lighting, absolutely great angle, great lighting. It's just next level imagery that I really haven't seen with any other AI tool out there. And I know I've talked about Higgs field a lot, but when it comes to, I think, product photography that you're going to use on ads, on banners, on email, this is going to be, to me, I think this is the best AI model right now in order for you to get consistency across your imagery, um, keep things organized in terms of images and videos. And that's another thing we haven't even touched and talked about video. But video, you have the option to do just some quick shots of videos right within here. The other thing that I would say definitely do is click on the Discover and look at all the options and all the things that other people have created, and even within Kive, things that have been generated inside of here, because this will get you a lot of really, really good ideas on things that you can create. Now, I think we do have to talk about this thing that matters a lot, and that is trust, right? AI content is getting better. Like Kive is just mind blowing, but consumers are also getting more, I would say, skeptical, right? So it's like 90% of customers globally, they want transparency on whether an image was created with AI or not. So my recommendation is to just not fake everything. My recommendation is to use AI to scale your creative variations, your speed, and just fill in those content gaps. I still think photography and having the selfies and the mirror pics, all those things are going to be super important. So keep your core product, like the truth of that particular product, locked in. So that means, like, your product color is accurate. You make that your fit is accurate. You don't necessarily generate something. You don't want to generate something that misrepresents, right, well, it's actually going to arrive at the door of the customer. Now let's take this and make a just practical mini workflow that you can copy today. Step one, obviously take one clean product photo image per SKU in Kive. Pick a studio that matches your vibe, or create your own, or remix your own, and then generate 3 lifestyle variations. Maybe an outdoor golden hour street vibe, minimal studio editorial vibe, maybe like a simple indoor day in the life type vibe. And then generate 2 detail variations of those, fabric texture close up, or maybe a logo close up. And then step 5, save the best set into a product page set folder. And step 6, export one hero image for ads, one for email. And if you're wondering about cost, again, Kive's pricing does include a free tier. But what I would recommend is at least getting into the basic plan in order to generate everything that you will need right away. Again, even within these, you saw it's like about 10 to 20 to potentially even 40 credits. And the basic plan gives you about 1,000 credits. But they do give you the option to purchase more credits. And you could also do affiliates to get more credits, and post about it online, to get more credits as well. So they give you some options, right, to also get some credits into your account. But again, speaking purely on ROI perspective, like if this replaces even one photo shoot or one extra day of editing, it's really not hard to justify the pricing. Now, remember, when your imagery is consistent, your site feels more legit. When your site feels more legit, your conversion rate goes up. When your conversion rate goes up, your ads get cheaper. And when your ads get cheaper, you can actually scale. This is all connected. And I just want to say too, if you are a clothing brand and you're looking at this video and you're like, That's amazing. I want to learn more. You can actually click on the link below. We have a 45-minute strategy session that you can meet with us, and we can go over the specifics of your brand and how to grow it profitably online. I'm just so pumped about this video and the possibilities that you guys will have with Kive. And if you want just a very simple challenge after watching this, just take one product today and build a full 5-image product page set just using Kive, and then compare it to your current product page. And then let me know if you feel the difference, or if your customers will feel the difference too. I think they will. If you found this video awesome, and I know I mentioned Higgsfield within this video, if you're interested in Higgsfield, I would implore you to watch this video here next, where I actually go in some of the same details, some of the same things that you can do here, but with Higgsfield. See you there.